All right, welcome back to another talk for Relationships Matter. I do have what I think is a very interesting topic to share with all of you. So, have you ever been like in a situation that like someone you care about and they did something really annoying that made you feel like I don't want to talk to this person again? Uh, Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna talk about that. So this is about annoying behaviors that can cause relationships to become distant. In the meantime, stick around. All right. So let's start with 5. Anything that comes to mind? Because I have the first one that I find really annoying. A lot of people I care about, and some of them are friends, some of them are relatives, some of them are some of you. Sorry. Too much honesty. It's interrupting when you're talking. Have you ever experienced that? Like you're talking about something really important to you and you just get interrupted. And I'm not sure what it is. It's like either they get excited or they get offended or defensive. I really don't know what it is. But I mean, it just, I wouldn't, I cannot imagine how could someone be offended or defensive if I'm talking about my bad day. Like like I share someone like I'm coming here, I did this, and I had a really bad day today, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, you know what? You know what happened to me today? And I was like, I didn't finish. Can I share with you what is happening? And you end up basically being listening. And it's like, yeah, forget about me. I'm not gonna be able to talk about my bad day. What are some experiences that you guys had in terms of like in the middle of a talk you get interrupted or in the middle of a mood? Like sometimes I'm in a good mood, I kind of like, or somebody be in a good mood and then their parents just to stop them. It's like, take out the trash, you didn't do your homework. It's like, I was in a good mood until you just interrupted my thoughts. So that can really make us feel really disconnected, unappreciated, unheard, unimportant, and these things that what really causes the distant in the relationship. All right, what else do you have in mind? What else something that you find is annoying?
When friends hit me, the who asked when I'm telling a story.
Who asked?
My friends have a habit of saying who asked while I'm telling something.
Oh,
It pisses me off.
oh,
It
yeah,
pisses me off so much.
yeah. It's what?
No, it's just his habit. He thinks it's funny. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a funny thing. So it's not annoying to you.
I mean, it's annoying to me, but
Yeah, it's annoying. It's funny to him because maybe he's doing it. And it's not. Sorry, what? Well, that's what we're trying to address here. So this behavior, we just need to understand it really. How does it impact us, and what we need to do so we can nurture that relationship? Because finding a new friend, yeah, I mean that's that's an option, but it's not sometimes easy. Sometimes we have friends for good reasons, right? And finding these good friends again is not really that easy sometimes. So how do you manage that?
I retaliating with unsavory words that shouldn't be said here.
Oh, I see. And you're actually telling them to do what? If you were to filter those words.
I don't think I can do it.
Oh
I
no.
don't think I'm able to
So
do
you're
it.
telling him to listen, or you're telling him to finish for you to finish the story, or are you like pushing
I
back,
just
or?
stay silent and then
Hmm.
I'll add a little slur here and there maybe.
Yeah, it can be. So that's really the withdrawal. So the distance is already starting. So that's really important for us to understand these kind of behaviors. Whether you're doing it to your friend or whether you're receiving it from your friends, it's really important to understand the impact and what's really happening there. All right, so you had a comment there?
the whole them expecting me to do everything with them.
Oh, so why didn't you do it with me kind of thing? And they kind of like,
Why
they don't care about you having a good time alone with other friends, but they're like, whoa, why didn't you tell me? Where was I? I was there. How come? And they start blaming on you. Yeah, that's kind of that's another way to, okay, basically to interrupt. You know, like they're interrupting your mood, they're interrupting your sharing, right? And that's another example of interrupting. Is it? Do you think would
I
be
guess so.
qualified as, yeah, because you have a, like a certain thing in mind you want to share, and then all of a sudden they just, who, how, why not, me, and they have their own agenda. Yes.
that sometimes they make jokes that are offensive and not funny and they think it's funny and when you get mad they feel like it's just a joke.
Okay, can I okay, so what I'm hearing is that you're saying that they sometimes make a joke that is offensive. Can I change the word joke with a different word that I hopefully that it's more descriptive? Sarcastic comments. Is it sarcastic comments that they think it's funny?
That's good.
And then how is it funny and offensive then?
Maybe they make like insult
Oh,
or
like
maybe a backhanded compliment.
like ridiculing it or making fun of it.
Yeah, or maybe they just say something that is actually that is just offensive, simply offensive, but they think like that because they're not serious about it.
Yeah, that's really painful to go through it. If especially if you're like driving with them in a car, if you're riding in the same car, and they made that's like I have to put up with this until we get to the destination, and we're stuck in traffic now. It's just like you have to bear with that. Yeah. Yes.
They end up saying like, oh, you should learn how to take a joke.
You learn how to.
You should learn how to take a joke.
Oh, you learn how to. Yeah. Then that's your fault that you get offended. You need to learn how to take a joke. That's not a joke. That's rude. That's obnoxious. It's an obnoxious comment or obnoxious joke. Right. Yes.
You know how people put another person down just a little cool?
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me an example.
I'd rather not.
Okay, I'll tell you. I call this the one up. One up. You know, whoever you're talking to, they just want to be the one up.
Yeah.
I'm taking my friends are going. We're going to Malacca. Who is in Malacca? Yeah. And they're like, yeah, we went to Malacca last week. This week we're going to Penang, or we're going to Singapore, or we're going to Tokyo. I was like, what? Can you just stay with me here? I want to talk to you about Malacca, about our trip. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, so it's those people who always want to be a one up. It's like, oh, you had fun in that place? Ah, we really didn't like it. You should try this. We went there last. I was like, and it's just really you don't feel like you want to talk again to that person. You don't want to share any fun moments with them because they just cut you off and yes.
It feels very invalidating for that.
Totally. That's a really good point there. Yeah. And that's really so the emotion comes from the behavior. And that emotion is causing us to behave a certain way. And that behavior is impacting us is really to disconnect, to distant ourselves. The disconnection doesn't happen really that fast, but we start to distant. But we want to be able to cope with these kind of behaviors from people around us so we are better. So stick around. There's still more to go. And for you, you guys are not going anywhere, right? So, uh, so any more thoughts? Yeah, keep it coming.
The compulsive liars.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really?
tell me.
I have
Compulsive liars.
how do we say, flaunt his money,
Wow.
and it was just so annoying.
That's. I mean, it is annoying. There's no doubt. And sometimes I feel sad for this person. I mean, sometimes like I don't know what else to say. You kind of like sometimes you let it go, but it's really wasting my energy, wasting my eardrums keep shaking for no reason. I know what I'm saying. So yeah, that's really annoying. And you really eventually you start withdrawing yourself from that person and you're not including them, and then you're gonna have fun without them, and they're gonna tell you, how come you didn't invite me? You know, all that stuff. So
It's avoid him.
yeah. So yeah, these are good examples, guys. How about? I mean, this is maybe controversial to some people. How about gossiping? You guys like sitting around with people who gossip? I really don't like it. I find it annoying when people gossip. And I used to feel very uncomfortable around people who gossip. But there's a fine line between gossiping and sharing an experience for yourself. But gossiping can be very annoying. Maybe if you're doing it, maybe you need to be mindful of those who you're doing it with. Maybe they feel annoyed. So it's really again, it's not something that it always have to be done to us. Sometimes we're doing this, right? And it's important to be mindful of the people around you. Anything else? You guys been awfully quiet on this side of the room. Don't know what's going on. Any other thoughts? Anything other than that people do that is annoying? Yeah, I mean, basically, like if I were to say, if we didn't learn from today's talk the better way to how to handle this, it's important to be mindful that you be that person, right? You'll be withdrawing and you're actually doing an act that is annoying to the other people. You're not responding to their messages, you're ghosting them, and you just really don't like being in that situation. So therefore, you are doing something annoying to the other. So we need to be mindful how we do this in a healthy way. So you're enjoying the time with them, they're enjoying the time with them. You feel inclusive, and also they feel inclusive in a conversation or any get together. Yeah, good. We're gonna talk more about that. I mean, on how to fix it. How about oversharing? As in going forever to explain to you how traffic was bad, or how they can share personal information. Yeah, but I that's very true. It depends on the person, and it depends on your relationship with the other person. But I would like to argue, regardless of what information or what relationship that person is that you have with, there is a line that we don't want to cross, and then it'll be oversharing. I would I would like to argue with that. I don't know. Anybody has a different opinion? Is there like a person that you feel like in your life that you don't feel like you can overshare? Yes. The capacity for them to overshare. Oh, I see. So you kind of get the green light if they're okay to hear your oversharing. Okay, got it. I think I would like to counter argue myself, or my argument is that a person that I don't feel like I need to be mindful about oversharing is maybe my counselor, my therapist, my coach. Even my coach, I would like not everything that I would like to tell my coach, but my therapist, I think I would like to not overshare, but to be really fully transparent because my therapist would need to help me, right? So I do need to be fully transparent, and that's not oversharing. I wouldn't have to worry about that. So because therapists, counselors, psychologists are trained to take it, and not only take it, but it's also private. And not only that, and they don't get annoyed by you oversharing, right? So that's I think that's one person that I can think of. Anyone else you guys can think of? Yeah.
If you're close enough to the person, you would feel like it's oversharing because you feel like you trust them enough to tell them like everything that's going on.
Okay. So you say that there's a person that you can think of that you feel like you don't have to worry about oversharing with. All right. All right. Anyone else would like to have any comments on that? No? Yeah.
Yeah, but it's totally different when the relationship is like not close, right? When it comes to oversharing. Sometimes you don't even know the person and they just start blabbering about their life but you don't even know their last name. Stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be valid as well. I mean, it depends on the the person. If you met him like now and he's telling you about his boss or his wife or his mom or his girlfriend or whatever, I was like, chill out, dude. I'm here to have fun. It's just like, I don't even know who you are. Just take a hike. True, true. Um, any other thoughts? Are you guys ready for how to fix it? How to deal with it? I'll throw then one last one. How about if somebody's not listening? If you're talking to someone and they're like, oh, there's not and they're like doing other things or talking to other people, and you're like talking to them and you're talking about something really meaningful, really important for you that you feel like special sharing with that person, and they're like, oh, can I have some water, please? I just want to have. It's like in a coffee shop, or he or she step aside to get a drink or something in the middle of you talking. I think that's quite annoying. Um, it's I don't know any culture kind of nurtures that kind of thing or accepts that kind of thing. It's kind of rude in every culture I've been in. Um, yeah. All right. So the question of the day, how do you manage that annoying behavior? So the objective of managing it in a healthy way is what? Is to maintain the relationship to stay healthy, right? So any thoughts? How would you like to manage that situation, that annoying situation? See, oh,
Be the bigger person, move on, forget about it.
right,
That's what I do.
right. And if you were, we'll get to that. But first we'll address to that. So you're saying you be the bigger person and let it go and forget about it. And then it happens again,
Happens again, happens again. Just forget about it again.
and then it happens again,
Just keep forgetting about it.
and then it happens again.
Just keep forgetting.
And for how long you think it can keep up with that?
As long as I'm not giving them a reaction to it, they probably stop doing it eventually.
So what I'm hearing is that it's not annoying you then.
I mean, at that moment when they do it, it's annoying.
Yeah? And you just kind of brush it
I just
off.
brush it off as them being.
Interesting. Yes, you want a friend. He has a lot of resilience, I would say. I would say that takes a lot of resilience. Yeah. I mean, it takes a lot of energy. I really sometimes I cannot have that energy. If somebody interrupts me, sometimes I let it go once, twice, like, yeah, be nice. But then I'll talk to them about it. It's like I really don't feel like it's really important for me. I need you to, I need you to listen. But if they keep repeating that, it's like, I'm sorry, I'm not heard. I'll just be quiet. So I give the withdraw, but with explanation. But I commend you for that. If you're able to do that, that's great. But I would like to talk to you about it separately. Okay, what other ideas do you guys have? Yes? Annoy them back. I like that. That's excellent. Yeah, annoy them back. Just say if they said their father is a doctor, which hospital? Oh, HKL. Oh, my father didn't hire your father. I know that for sure because my father is the head of HKL. Yeah, why not? You see, the thing is that there are many ways to deal with these behaviors, right? These annoying behaviors, annoying moments. But we want to be mindful of that to get the healthy response or the healthy way on how to cope with it. We can ignore it. Is that healthy? I would like to argue that it's not. Thank you. Annoy them back. Is that healthy? That's passive aggressive. Is it healthy? It's not. It's really, I mean, if it's not my character, it'll get me out of character. It'll annoy the other people that I'm with, and it'll probably end up being like a hidden agenda bullying the other person. Everybody knows that you're joking except that person, and it becomes building grudges, and it's not really a healthy way to do that. What else do you guys have? Yes, two hands. Talk to them about it. I'm sorry, and then
Like they annoy you, like change it. You're just gonna keep getting it.
Yeah.
You're gonna build resentment.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, telling me to say it's like I really don't like it what you did, or finding it annoying. Yes, I saw hands back there, and I found a hand here. Let's go back.
How I feel about it, when you talk about it, it's something like I wouldn't friendship myself about it. Just so we have like a healthy relationship and then we get
Cool. Cool. Yeah, talking about it is really important. Yes, front. You have something. Cut what? Cut ties. Cut ties. Potong. Is that right? Cut ties. Is that a healthy way to do it?
that's you.
After I'm done talking with him, I want to talk to you. No, I mean, it does fix the problem of you feeling annoyed. That's true. But if every person annoyed me and I cut ties, I would be very lonely. I would be very lonely. No, I wouldn't be lonely. You and I. Why do you think I wouldn't be lonely? Well, I mean, the list is really long of annoying behaviors.
But
Watch out your head and don't want to hurt yourself. Okay.
would it help you loneliness even if you spend a lot of like doing such as that person like the annoying person?
You would cut ties with the annoying.
Yeah, if you don't cut ties with that person, you get if you cut ties with that person, you get lonely. But then if you stay with that person, I think you get lonely.
Right. So what I'm hearing is that if you cut ties, you'd be lonely. If you don't cut ties, you have to put up with all the nonsense, and it's gonna be energy. Or you'll be still lonely because you're not heard. Yeah. But here's the thing: is that there is a way that we can bring that connection. So CPC is one way. That's the relationary way. Yeah. But how would you do it in a friendship? How would you summarize that with friends? Just like happened, like in a car driving, and somebody cut you off, or exaggerated, or upped you. They were one up you, and your story and all that. Relationary way. Yeah, there's a recipe there, folks.
I think it's better to bring it up at that moment instead of let it linger, because at that moment when you say, hey, I don't like when you do this, they'll understand. But if you like wait a lot of time and then say, I don't like what you did, they'll be like, then why didn't you tell me then?
Right. And that's the part of the relationary way. We need to do it in a timely matter, right? And sometimes when it happens like that, it's really important to do it on the spot. Sometimes people feel like, oh, you should have talked to him alone or talked to her alone. You don't have to bring it up. In my books, if it happened in a group, I'll bring it in a group. If it happened alone, I'll bring it alone. But that's just my standards, I guess. Yeah, I would like to bring it on the spot. So yeah, bringing it and expressing it is really important. Now the challenge here is the how. How do we bring it and still be in relationships, in good relationships with the people who are really annoying us? I mean, we really touched the surface of the annoying part. I can imagine that there's a lot of things that you guys can probably reflect on and have experienced that it's very annoying that maybe it's not coming to your mind at the moment, or maybe you're holding it back because you don't want to overshare. Yes.
About the annoying behavior in a group setting, I disagree with that because it can really single them out. Because if other people also agree that they're being very annoying, they'll start to chip in because someone already initiated it, someone already took the part out.
Good point. So what I'm hearing is that bringing it to their attention on the spot in a group can backfire. There's a risk in that because some people might get offended, they take their side, and therefore, yeah, there are a lot of people that can take the side of the victim. And in that situation, the offender is the victim because you call them out, then they become a victim. Yeah, that's a good point. Yes, there's definitely a risk on that. And again, it's how we do it. It's the how we do it. So we can always use humor. Yes. Go ahead.
No, basically making them look at it from your perspective.
Right. And sometimes, even if we're to bring it in our perspective, then some other people in the group, they would start like, why are you so being sensitive? You need to learn how to take a joke. You just need to listen. You don't have any listening skills. And they kind of talk to you, like give you a lecture. But one thing is that can be very effective is you bring it as a joke. If it's a light situation. I said, can I finish? Can I finish? You know, can I have a chance to finish my statement? Can I finish? On the spot. But when they interrupted you, not after they finished their statement. But you need to kind of like push back. It's like, let me finish? Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. So you basically um, allowing them to know that it's important for you to finish, or you can just say it specifically. It's really important for me to share this with you. It would, you know, I'm bringing it for a reason. I'm sharing it for a reason. Can you hear me out? Because if it's important to you, and it might not be as important to you to say it that way, but it's important so it takes away your annoyance. So you don't have to to deal with the annoyance afterwards. Reason being, believe it or not, when we do this, it really helps us to nurture our self-confidence. Once we do it nicely and present ourselves and hold our grounds because it's something that is really important to us, and we still do it effectively and successfully, it does boost our, not boost, but it nurtures our self-confidence, our self-esteem. It does help us that. Because when we take it in, and we take it in, and we take it in, it kind of eats up a little bit of crumbs of our self-esteem. And the more crumbs we lose, it's really coming out of our self-esteem. My self-esteem can be presented in how much I am contributing in a group, and how much I am being heard in a group, because that it's a two-way road, I guess. One way to look at that. So not not addressing it in a group. At least you want to bring it with the person alone. But then there's a chance of gossiping. That person would go to the group and like, I can't believe what this guy just talked to me about. I mean, there is a risk in every way possible, right? But it's really important to be mindful how we do it. It's really the most important thing. It's not, withdrawing. If you're really in a group that you bring up yourself and it's like, yeah, I feel like, I got interrupted. Can you guys hear me out? And they call you on it, maybe that's not a healthy group to start with. Maybe you have a toxic relationship with these friends or these people. And you don't have to cut off. Like if your parents are like that, you don't want to cut them off. You just need to be mindful that they're not emotionally mature as you are. Just know that. And it's not because you're not important, and it's not because your story is not important, and it's not because they don't care, right? If they are your parents. I always give parents an exception because I come from the school that I strongly believe parents are well intended, but can be extremely ignorant when it comes down to emotions. So, so it's really important to remind yourself that that's causing you to be in a toxic environment with your friends or relatives or whatever. Just be mindful of the nature of that relationship. Yes. I see your hand. I don't see your face. Yes.
So are you saying that we shouldn't cut them off even though they are not willing to listen anything?
Right. So the question is it still okay not to cut them off even though they're not listening to us? Is that what I'm hearing? We shouldn't cut him off. Well, I would say we need to. It's not about should or shouldn't. It's about we need to stay our character. We need to stay who we are. We don't want to get out of character just to make a point. Sometimes we do have to do that, but it's really your call. But when you do it consciously, be mindful that it's not a solution. What you like, for example, you can use passive aggressive as a solution, or you can use cutting off as like how it feels right now, and that's passive aggressive really. But be mindful that's not a solution really. It's not a solution. It's just a way to get their attention, but it might not fix it. So, and you don't want to adapt that as a solution. You want to like copy paste kind of every situation that you don't feel comfortable. So it's really be mindful of how does it impact your character, whatever you choose to do. Yeah. Does that answer your question? Yeah. Yes.
Like in your mind, you just have to accept like it's not like all of that is your control. You can put down your like you can say okay this is it, but then if it's repetitive, then you just have to accept it and like okay this is how it's gonna be. If not, not here, they're gonna do it somewhere else. And if I'm disturbing someone else, they're gonna do it.
Right. Right. You have to accept it. You're right. You're absolutely right. And you're not in control. Absolutely. But actually, you do have some control. As I always say, you have control how much? 50%. You have 50% control of any relationship that you have. And the other 50, you have no control over, but you can influence it. You can influence it. The problem with that is the other person might prevent you from influencing it by cutting you off, denying you, stonewalling, ghosting, whatever you want to call these terms. So they are blocking you, so you have no way to influence. But as long as there's a connection, you have a chance to influence. Influence doesn't mean to use it to your advantage, but actually to influence, to nurture the relationship, to make the relationship a healthy one, not for your personal advantage and so forth. Any other thoughts? Yeah, good interactions there, guys. Keep it coming. Anything? We're ready to wrap it up? Yeah? All right. If you have any comments, you have any questions, more than happy to address it. Until the next talk, stay happy.